Good evening, warm welcome to the program. Today we are going to answer a question very simple. What is supply chain analytics and why it is important specifically for supply chain professional? They have a lot of questions in mind. Specifically, they feel nowadays they are not able to get even an interview call, though they are experienced, have a very good experience sometime in multinational company, but the next job becomes a problem. Okay, number one is why we have to study supply chain analytics, irrespective of level. You may be a fresher, junior, middle, or senior level. You need that from the employer's perspective. Before that, we will simply understand why supply chain analytics is required. Maybe most of you may be handling the data in a limited way. If your number of transaction in your organization is less, say 1,000 or even 10,000, you can use the Excel. Okay, Excel is also a fantastic tool and it has lot of option for data handling as long as the data is limited. When the data is more, you cannot rely on Excel. Maybe the tool will hang, and that is one reason. Second is you cannot automate to a large extent by using the Excel, especially there is not much of a pre-written algorithm. Maybe you have some kind of a macro or solver or VBA is available, but the when data is too much, then the question comes, how to handle such a large volume of data. Once again, keep in mind we are not talking about big data or a profession of a software professional or a developer. Here we are talking in the sense of pure supply chain professional, how to handle data. When you have a limited data, Excel is fine. When the data is more, how to handle it. Once again, it's not a big data. We are talking about data extracted from your organization ERP. Possibly it may have 1 lakh or 1 million records. In such case, you should be able to operate Excel as well as apply some algorithm to get the result. For example, it could be optimization, or it could be even uh, applying forecasting kind of a tool. Let me show you a simple file, how complicated it can become in the current environment. For example, this is a Excel file which I am trying to open. It contains data of a organization, especially supply chain organization, extracted from ERP. Of course, in ERP it is possible to extract any volume of data, whether you want 1 month or 1 week, 1 day. But if you want any meaningful analysis, then you need at least 1 year, 2 year data. When you are trying to do forecasting, you may need much bigger data. In such case, the file may become large. That's what I am trying to show you, a file. Here Excel is not able to open. It says if you save the workbook, you will lose the data that was not loaded. This is the case most of the time when you are working or trying to go to a large organization where the product structure is complex and number of transaction per day is more. Excel may not be so much helpful. That's where you need some other tools. Let me try to open this file, and you may see that it has loaded the maximum length of records available in this particular Excel. Okay, as you can see, 10 for lakh 48,000 rows or records is possible. In fact, this file was having more than 2 million records, but Excel has shrunken the file. Maybe it has extracted the top file which it can fill. But you can see, even this kind of a file, maybe the size of the file is less than 20 MB. Even that, if all the records are available, when you are doing some sorting or applying solver or writing a macro, the file will hang. Okay, the file will hang. So that's where the other tool. Maybe you need a SQL or Python or maybe required, and you can do the all the analysis using the tool. What kind of analysis? In current workday environment, you have to improve your work performance or the supply chain performance month on month or year on year basis. So if data is available, you should find out what are the reasons for say in delay in customer delivery, or why a particular item is shortage, or why the inventory is more, and how to optimize. These are the questions. Okay, one is you need to have the knowledge on supply chain. Second, you need to have the tools like this, so that you can benefit out of the data available. Nowadays you can see there are more and more organization having these kind of huge data. They want supply chain professional to handle this data, come out with a solution, optimization, how you are going to reduce the inventory or optimize your logistic, maybe a trekking route, or it could be improvement in the forecasting. So you need to learn additional tool. This is the requirement for the day. Even if you are a senior, maybe 10, 15 years experience, this has become mandatory. So let us go through some of the job profile. Nowadays I have just put the title in this job search engine: supply chain analyst. Here I have not put a experience or the city or location. Let us see what kind of job is available and what kind of organization is looking for this kind of a demand. Okay, it this job is not specific only to manufacturing. It is applied to even consulting or software product development in the supply chain domain. So everywhere it is required. Earlier this position was called as either executive, senior executive, assistant manager. Now that requirement has disappeared, and most of the organization are calling them as an analyst. Okay, supply chain analyst specifically. In India, you may not have a education combining knowledge of supply chain and analytics. That's where we come into picture. Let us see the kind of titles and the organization which looks for this kind of position. Here you can see Mercedes Benz R&D. They are looking for data analytics intern. And if I go down, Schneider Electrics looks for global supply and inventory planner. Okay, this is not just a entry level. Even if you are senior, you need to have. For example, this position they are talking about 1 to 5 years. Everywhere you need to handle data. You cannot say I am working in logistic or warehouse or only in planning. Okay, coming next, if you see uh, Lowe associate analyst. Okay, some people may call this as simply a supply chain executive, but it doesn't matter as long as you are able to use the analytics. For example, you can see Honeywell is a great organization. They are calling for the people whose name is logistic analyst. Okay, no more the corporate logistic is only import export warehouse transportation. No, they need to analyze huge volume of data and give suggestion to management how you are able to reduce the cost. Maybe if you read this, you can see coordinate implement logistical project. Means here we are talking about cost optimization or lead time optimization. Develop a logistic solution. Analytical skill is required. So everywhere analytical skill may be becoming mandatory in the coming time. You may see the executive is removed. Whether you are in supply chain, finance, or any domain, it may become analyst. The reason is not only the work of the domain, but you are also have to do the work related to any improvement activity. Okay, in this aspect we are trying to bridge the gap between what employers want and what the candidates are having. Okay. If you go to our site, we have a supply chain analytics program, which is very popular and running for the last 5 years, with more than 20 batches are available, where you can learn not only the supply chain application, but also you can see the other analytical tools required. We are going to focus on basic applied statistics, SQL, Python, data science, and supply chain application. You may find in the market there are people who are providing you specialized training only in supply chain or only in analytic, but there is a there is a big gap when you want to use this analytical tool specific to supply chain. There are no one available. This is where our specialty comes in, and everywhere we talk supply chain and apply supply chain analytical tool in the supply chain. If anyone of you interested, you are always welcome to reach to me or our executive. We are willing to help you and see how we can guide you in your career progress. Okay. Any questions? Those who are watching live, you can comment in the LinkedIn or YouTube so that I can respond. On the other hand, you can always reach to our executives who can assist you in our very specialized program, appreciated across globally. You can visit this particular site, expertsem.net, and see the customer remarks or feedback, more than 4.8 points. Doing analytical sub application from Apex certified trainer is almost rare in the world, and I don't know even a single person who is a supply chain expert, means Apex certified trainer, and also analytical application expert. Thanks for